Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we want to look at a question paper of May 2025. We are going to look at question 5 on that question paper. In terms of the first question that we have, it reads, name 5 aspects of product knowledge that are important to salespeople. In terms of product knowledge, basically, looking at product knowledge, it's a comprehensive understanding of a product or service, including its features and also its benefits. You'd see that it involves more than just memorizing facts, but also developing a that is a practical hands-on experience to provide personalized and insightful guidance, ultimately enhancing customer satisfaction and driving sales. That is a product knowledge. So basically, we are saying it involves a comprehensive understanding of a product or service. That is product knowledge. In terms of our question, it requires us to name 5 aspects of product knowledge that are important to salespeople. So you'd see that we have product range. It's also part of the aspects of product knowledge, and also product use, also part of that. I've got production methods and processes are also part of aspects of product knowledge. We have those is mentioned in the other section. As we have the first one is physical characteristics. We've got a product range, product support, production methods and processes, product use. So these are the ones that we have. And of course, remember our question requires us to raise 5. So we check, we have 5 of them. We go to the next part, name 4 types of quotas. So what is exactly a quota? A quota basically, it means that the allowed fixed limit or maximum number of something that is a quota. In terms of 4 types of quotas that we have, we'll see that we have budget quotas are part of that. We also have activity quotas, budget quotas, activity quotas. So those are the way we have as mentioned. So we've got sales volume quotas, we've got budget quotas, we've got activity quotas, we've got combination and point system quotas. So these are the types of quotas. Then we go to 5.3, name 6 sources of information that salespeople can use to sell their products successfully. What are the sources of information? Of course, the internet can be a source of information. Also, for social media also can be a source of information. And personal observation can also be a source of information. So we have those as also stated in the other section where say customers can be a source of information about internet, social media, financial institutions, other businesses, other salespeople. The continuation we have there in terms of other sources. Of course, our question requires us to raise 6 points, each with 2 marks. Moving on to 5.4, discuss each of the following closing techniques that a salesperson can use. So first of all, we have assumptive clause. So assumptive clause is a sales technique where the sales person assumes the customer has already decided to buy and proceeds to discuss the details of the sale, such as they start to discuss about payment or deliver of the item to be bought. But of course, the situation is the customer is not already decided, but the salesperson is the one that is acting as if the customer has already decided. So the goal is to guide the customer towards purchasing or directs the customer towards purchasing. So that's what we have in terms of assumptive clause, and of course, the description that we have in terms of assumptive clause is that the principle behind this technique is the assumption that the prospect will buy. So that's the assumption. And there is no doubt in the salesperson's mind that he or she will sell. He or she will sell, and the prospect will buy. And then the salesperson intentionally acts as if the prospect agrees to buy the product. So this is what we have, and it is just a question of a few minor matters such as color, size, deliver or term. So these are the explanations that we have in terms of the assumptive clause. And of course, the next one is the minor question technique. So in terms of the minor question technique, It is also a sales strategy that asks a customer about a secondary, less important aspect of a product or service to bypass a direct yes or no decision. So to avoid a yes or no decision quickly, you bypass that and then you start to ask other secondary issues that are not primary issues. Um, for example, instead of asking the primary question, you like, will you buy it? Yeah, so that question is avoided. The question of you will buy it is going to be avoided so that we avoid a yes or no. So you ask about a detail like color or any aspect of a feature, and this encourages a positive response and moves the conversation towards the sale. So that is the minor question technique. So of course, its explanation, which is the minor question technique, we are saying a minor question is simply a question that refers to one or other less important or secondary aspects of the product or transaction. The minor question simply ignores the primary or conclusive questions: are you going to buy or not? Is going to be avoided. So instead of asking directly for the salesperson asks a question about a minor point such as model type, size, or delivery that the prospect has to decide on if he or she was buying the product. And also, by answering the question, the prospect actually agrees to the sale. So these are the explanations on a minor question technique. And of course, the next one is inducement technique. So other inducement technique, the salesperson offers the prospect an incentive or temptation to buy the product. So the prospect might feel that if he or she does not buy now, he or she will miss something, and also people like receiving something for nothing or free. So because the technique is used especially in the presentation where the prospect has been taken through all the steps, he or she wants the product, but he or she delays or cannot reach a decision. So these are the points that we have in terms of the inducement technique. And of course, after the inducement technique, we have the emotional closing technique. We have the emotional closing technique, whereby the emotional closing technique, it uses a biased emotions to encourage the purchase, often through demonstrating empathy. That is emotional closing technique. And of course, in its explanations, we see that emotional closing technique, all humans are naturally scared of losing loved ones or belongings. This can this can give the prospect a strong drive to buy certain products. So this is under emotions. This technique works well because all decisions are based on feelings. The salesperson deliberately plays to the prospect's emotions and arouse certain emotions. So you see that the salesperson arouses certain emotions. In this technique, the salesperson personalizes the closing plea by applying it intimately to the prospect's own position and emotion. So these are the points that we have in terms of the emotional closing technique. Then lastly, we have got the standing room only technique. The standing room only technique. So basically, this is one way on this part. And then in terms of the standing room only emotional technique, if you look at the standing room only technique, we are saying the technique makes use of people's natural tendencies to want what others have. It is against human nature to let an opportunity pass by. If the prospect hears that there is only one article left, or that it has already been ordered, he or she usually wants it. The sales clause must be used only if the reason which the salesperson gives is the truth. So the creation that there is only one left should be truthful. We should not be lying about it. So this technique cannot be used to get rid of goods that sell slowly, uh, and of which there are still many in stock. So basically, this is sure that we should not lie about the situation. So it would be highly unethical of the salesperson to do so. So basically, we are saying that as the room only technique, it is a sales technique that creates agents and scarcity by telling a prospect that a product is in high demand and there are only limited number of units left. So that's the situation that is created under standing room only technique, that there are only a few that are left, but it can only be used when the information is truthful. and the item is obviously really in short supply. So we should take note of that as we apply the aesthetic room only technique. And this is the last part that we have in terms of question 5 of the question paper of June 2025. So thank you for listening, and hopefully the video was helpful. And let's meet again in the next video.